all my fight fans? So let's go ahead and go through the rest of the card of UFC 287. If you haven't seen it, please tune out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So the rest of the fights, I already went through Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. I went through Jorge Masvidal and Gilbert Burns. Go ahead and check those videos out. This is the rest of UFC 287. And the further down the card, we have Rob Font. He pretty much was able to turn back time against Adrian Yanez, I believe his name is, and he looked great. He looked really, really great. You know, Rob Font had been on a little bit of a downward spiral. He lost fights to like Jose Aldo and Marlon Vera. So now he came back strong, and was able to finish Adrian Yanez. Oh my God, what a brutal KO, brutal KO. I believe it was the left hook that caught him, possibly, and dropped him, and pretty much just finished him. Adrian Yanez was a strong up-and-comer. I believe he was on I'm going to say, what, like a 7-fight win streak or something to that nature. Could be wrong on that. But at the end of the day, he still was one hell of a up-and-coming rising star in the division, in the bantamweight division. So, but Rob Font was able to get the job done. And, yeah, now he is back. I believe he reclaims his spot in the ranking at 6, I want to say. So, yeah, there's a lot to be said and a lot to do for him right now. He's still in it. You know, he went against, I want to say, what's his name? Cody Garbrandt. He went up against former bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt, beat him, and he's got a few victories over there. But like I said, he's lost to a few of the elite, like Jose Aldo and Marlon Vera. So what could be next? I'm not sure 100%. You know, Marlon Vera already lost to Corey Sandhagen, but I don't see a possible rematch going on there. I personally feel like he will probably want to go against somebody else, like possibly a Pedro Munoz, somewhere around that nature. Nothing too extravagant yet. I don't see him really trying his best to chase the title. You know, it probably won't be the best idea. He probably wants to like ease himself way into it. This is actually a really good start for his career. So I really don't see anything going too crazy as far as title challengers and whatnot. You know, you got the elite of the elite with Marlon Vera, Corey Sandhagen, Marab. Of course, you got Henry Cejudo and the champion Aljamain Sterling. So, yeah, you got all these things, plus, of course, Sean O'Malley. So there's a lot of great title contenders and title challengers out there. And the bantamweight division is still up in the air. You know, we're not sure who's going to be facing who. We still got Henry Cejudo versus, again, like I said, Aljamain Sterling back in May 6th, I want to say that time frame is. So, yeah, definitely we'll see what happens. But the bantamweight division's on fire. Definitely on fire. In the further down the card, you had Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Kevin Holland, of course, coming off a 2-fight losing skid himself against Khamzat Chimaev and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But yeah, he's coming off those fights, and now he actually won. He was able to get a stoppage against Santiago. Excuse me. You know, he's been out of the game for a while. I believe he has some health issues. He has some infections and whatnot. But he came back strong. You know, it was a decent fight, whatnot, you know, and what happened and such like that. It was a decent fight, but at the end of the day, Kevin Holland, I think, was just too much. You know, he was too tall, too lanky. He was able to get those jabs in, those knees in, those kicks in. He was able to do a lot within this division. I feel like this is the real division that he is finally settling in. But as far as what's next for him, you know, it's kind of hard because he went against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and he wasn't able to really get the job done. But maybe in a rematch he could possibly do it, because I feel like they had a gentleman's agreement on, like, let's just do standing only. Let's not do any wrestling or whatnot. So you never know. I feel like Kevin Holland had a really bad game plan against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He was definitely favored to win that fight, but unfortunately he did lose. So there could possibly be a potential rematch there. Or maybe some of the up-and-comers like Sean Brady. You know, he's up in there. Of course, he's a real high-level grappler, so I'm not sure how much he would want that, or what he would want to do when it comes to that. But yeah, I really wouldn't throw him to the wolves just yet. I really want to go and try to put him in there against anybody else that is like top elite level, like a Gilbert Burns, a Bilal Muhammad, a Kobe Covington, or even a Kamaru Usman. You know, they're right there. Those are all like really the kings of that top 5, top 4 welterweight division right now. Let him ease his way into it. Let him fight somebody else. I know he was even possibly talking about a fight with Jorge Masvidal. Of course, that would have been fun, but I don't think that fight's ever going to come into fruition. But as far as what's next, like I said, possibly a rematch with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Who would not want to see that again? That was actually one of the fight of the years. Possibly in some other people's eyes. It happened last December. It was definitely very fun to watch these guys battle out. So I definitely would not mind seeing it again. In the opener of the main card, you had Rosas Jr. against, I want to say, was it Christian Rodriguez. I know his last name was Rodriguez. I'm drawing a blank on his first name, but yeah, Rosas Jr. is actually a rising star, rising up and comer in the bantamweight division. He talks about wrestling with Aljamain Sterling. He's talking about wanting to become the youngest UFC champion in the world. He's only 18. You know, he looks very, very good. But at the end of the day, you don't ever want to rush your MMA career. You never want to rush the game, you know, because sometimes it's better to take your time. It's better to take on good fights and good opponents that match your skill level at the moment. And I believe it was just too much. Rodriguez was just too much for Rosas, and he didn't get stopped, but you know, he did win that first round. But in the next 2 rounds, he pretty much was just, you know, it was just too much. It was just too much for him. He did not have enough in his weapons chamber to really defend what Rodriguez was able to do to him. So, you know, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. He still has a lot of time to learn. You're only 18 years old. I mean, good God, look at some guys don't even get their title shots until they're 30. I know you had that goal of being the youngest welterweight champ, or excuse me, the bantamweight champion of the world, youngest UFC champion of the world, I should say. But you know, it's a lot easier said than done. Really, a lot easier said than done. You know, Jon Jones is just one of the special athletes, one of the special you know, there is a reason why Jon Jones is on some of the people's GOAT lists. So it's really hard, really, really hard. But I believe Jon Jones did it at age 21 or 22, something to that nature. So he still has time. You know, he still has time. You just do a couple years of good fighting, do a couple years of careful matchmaking, do a couple years of really good training, and you never know what could possibly happen down the line. And the prelims main event, you had Kelvin Gastelum versus, I want to say what was his name, Curtis. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Sorry, guys, but yeah, it's been a long day. Curtis, I believe his name was Curtis something. Drawing a blank, but nonetheless, Kelvin Gastelum looked really, really good. You know, he looked really, really good. It was a really back and forth battle. It was a back and forth war. It was a very entertaining fight. A very good way to end the prelim card. I was very much excited to see Kelvin Gastelum back. You know, I was always a big fan of him. He had been on a very bad losing skid himself. You know, he lost to a lot of the high elite athletes out there, high elite fighters in the middleweight division. You know, you got to remember, Kelvin Gastelum was the one that gave Israel Adesanya by far the toughest, including Alex Pereira, toughest fight of his life. You know, back when Israel Adesanya won the interim title against Kelvin Gastelum. That was a war. That was a back and forth battle, and I've always wanted to see a part 2 for that. You know, but unfortunately, Kelvin Gastelum hasn't been the same since then, and Kelvin Gastelum hasn't been able to get back on track. But this was a fight for him. You know, he's been gone for a while, but it looks like he's back. He had some great boxing, great skills. You know, he had he tried his best for some really good wrestling takedowns and such like that, but it didn't really go to his way. But it was a really back and forth war that he had. And at the end of the day, Kelvin Gastelum did get the win. He got himself a little bit, you know, I think he's ranked 15th in the middleweight division right now. So yeah, he can slowly, because he's still relatively young. I believe he's in his early 30s, and he could slowly ease his way back towards that title. But you never know. You never know. Right now, I think he's taking it one fight at a time, and he's taking it easy and trying his best to really, really be careful on who he fights, because like again, it's not like Kelvin Gastelum lost to like a lot of non high level fighters. He's lost to guys like Robert Whitaker. I believe it was even Jack Hermanson. He's lost to guys like Jared Cannonier. I want to say a few other guys, but I can't really remember the names. I think even Darren Till. You know, so he's lost to a few high level opponents right there. And I believe he just wasn't quite focused. He really wasn't quite ready. So now he's in there. Now he's ready to go. You know, he had a great win. You know, he still looks like he needs more work done, but at the end of the day, a win's a win. So hopefully we see him in the middleweight division more. Hopefully we see more of him this year, and I can't wait. So there you go, guys. UFC 287, great card, great fights. Definitely take a look at it. Take a look at the fights. Let me know which one is your favorite fight, which one is your favorite knockout. There was a lot of great fights, a lot of back and forth wars. So guys, go ahead and check it out. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.